Good evening, everyone. Welcome to MBA Karo. So today we are going to have a DI marathon for SRCC GBO 2024. It is also helpful for upcoming examinations like CET, wherein you get similar kind of uh, data interpretation questions. Now, if we talk about the DI section of SRCC GPO, you will get 10 sets and of 4 questions each. Okay, so you have 10 into 4 questions per set, and these 10 sets are basically graph based, like bar graph, line graph. If you see past papers, table, okay, and then you have pie chart, and you have caselet. So these are the broad categories of question types that you get in this examination. So today also we are going to cover sets across these topics. If you are new to the channel, please don't forget to subscribe to the channel and follow us on social media platforms. So let's begin it, and do share it with your friends who are preparing for SRCC GBO. So here's the first set. This is what the paper looks like. This will give you a feel कि हाँ ऐसे ही आता है, केसलेट आता है. Like if you see past year papers also, you'll find similar kind of sets where they give you a passage based on ratios and percentages, etc. You need to find the number of people in different organizations, departments, etc. So it says that there are 1400 employees in an organization, and it has 5 departments: production, operations, marketing, accounts, and HR. So you need to find the number of male and female employees across these organized or across these departments of the organization. So caselet, basically you need to draw uh, a table using the conditions which are given, okay, and classify into two genders, male and female, and 5 departments. So draw like this: male, female, 5 departments, and the total. So these are production, operations, marketing, accounts, and HR. So based on this given information, formulate this table, try to put in the values, and then answer the questions. Now, if there is a graph based question, right? So in that case, you can like no need to formulate the table. You can answer questions individually. But in these kind of questions, wherein like your passages are given, in that scenario, you need to basically make a table, because you cannot get the numbers directly from the information. So you'll have to make a table, fill in the values, and then answer these questions. So tell me, how many employees are there in the operations department, if anyone has calculated thus far. And let me tell you that this is like if you're fast at reading, fast as calculation, go with the DI, because DI में क्या होगा कि आप एक set करोगे, 4 questions बनते हैं. Okay, and see the questions. If the questions do not have any additional data, go with the DI sets. Easy to score marks as compared to quant. Quant में ज़्यादा time लगता है. Also, there could be some weird topics from which you get questions. I will create a video on this also, that how to maximize your score in SRCC GBO. Okay, first of all, do not target any cutoff score. That will depend on the difficulty level of the paper. But what are the questions that you must attempt in order to maximize your score? There is no sectional cutoff, right? You have to score overall. So it says that ratio between male and female is 4:3. So 1400 and 800 and 600 will be the number of male and female employees. Okay. So it says 5% of the employees work in the HR department. So 5% of 1400 is 700. Like, sorry, 70. So HR, 70 employees. It is the only department that has an equal number of employees of both genders. So 35, 35 each. Okay. Next says 10% of the female employees work in the production department. So female employees are 600, 60 work in production department. The ratio of the number of male to female employees in the production department is 5:1. So this is done. The accounts department has 150 employees, of which 80 are male. So 80 male and 70 female here. Right. Next is the ratio between the female employees working in the marketing and the operations department is 2:1. So marketing ratio operations is 2:1. Okay, so we can calculate it. Total is 600. This is 130, 165. It is 3x. So we'll get x is equal to 145. So this is 145 and this will be 290. Okay. Got these values. Next is given that the operations department has 20 more male employees than it has female employees. Operations has 24 male employees. So 165 was 310. So answer to this question is 310. One value is missing. Subtract from the totals. This plus this is 200. Okay. 200 plus 300, 500, 580. So 800 minus 580, we get 220 male employees here. Okay, so total employees will be 510 in marketing department. Did you get the same values? Just tally and let me know that if you got the same value. So easy to attempt. Okay, just ensure that you go step by step and fill in the values. So even last year there were a couple of sets based on caselets, okay, wherein some passage was given and you had to fill in the values using those data points. Okay, so got these values. I hope you must have got it. बहुत difficult नहीं था. So first question we have answered that 310 employees in operations department. Next question. What is the ratio between the number of male employees in marketing and operations department? So this is the table. Marketing and operations male employees. So 220 ratio 165. It is divisible by 55. 4:3. What percentage of the male employees work in the marketing department? Now in caselets, the thing is like if you have created the table, you can answer the rest of the questions. So just ensure that you look at the caselet. ठीक है, उसकी length देख लो. It is a doable length. अगर ये let's say इसकी length was double of this, then you would have skipped this. Secondly, see the questions. Straightforward questions. Sometimes they give you some additional information in the statements that is missing. So it is a doable one in the paper also. So one must go ahead and complete it. Male employees working in marketing department. Okay, so we have 220 male employees out of 800. So 220 by 8 is 27.5%. Which of the following statements is correct? So read the statements and tell which of these is correct. This session will help you for CET also, because there also you have similar kind of data interpretation, case led, table based, graph based, and similar level as well. We shall have separate sessions for CET also. So which of these is thing, right? So let's read the statements. It says that like maximum number of employees are in the production department. Okay, so production has 360, that is not the maximum. 30% of the male employees work in marketing department. We just calculated it was not 30, 27.5. 45% of the employees work in the operations department. Okay, again that is incorrect. It is 310, which is less than 45. So this should be the right one. Marketing is the only department in which male employees are less than female employees. And that is the only one. So that is the correct statement. Okay. All right. So let's move on to the next problem. This is based on double pie charts. And like pie chart is, I believe, one of the easiest DI, because most of the students do it the wrong way. They calculate the actual values. You do not need to calculate the values. You can just take the ratios and answer the questions. That's what we are going to see in this thing. See, do not target any cutoff score, because that's what happens. Like, let's say the paper last year was difficult. Maybe this time the paper turns out to be easy. Okay, don't go with any cutoff in mind. Try to maximize your score. Don't limit your like कि मुझे इतना score करना है. If the cutoff is high, then you will say that okay, इतना ही target करके थे. Like this happened in Snap this time, right? Snap paper turned out to be easy. लोग इतना मान के गए थे, हाँ इतने में तो clear हो जाता है. पेपर आसान आ जाएगा तो कट ऑफ हाई चला जाएगी. पेपर डिफिकल्ट होगा, कट ऑफ लो जाएगी. सो जस्ट ट्राई टू गिव योर बेस्ट. डोंट वरी अबाउट द आउटकम. So in this case, we are given a couple of pie charts, and they give you the distribution of candidates who were enrolled and who passed the examination in different colleges. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 colleges, and these are the number of candidates who are enrolled, and these are the number of candidates who passed the examination. Okay, so the first question says, what percentage of candidates pass the examination from college D out of the total number of candidates enrolled in the same college? Now, a common mistake that people do in graph based DI is they start calculating the values. मतलब वो पहले ये सारे निकाल देंगे, वो टेबल बना देते हैं. P Q R S T V X, and then they make passed and the number of enrolled and passed, and they calculate, keep calculating all the values. So do not do this thing, because it is a useless activity. Okay. Instead, you can directly calculate the answers of the respective questions. Now it says what percentage of candidates pass the examination from college D out of the total number of enrolled students. Okay. So if we look at here, T is 8% of how much? 8550. And pass is 9% of 5700. Okay. So now this is a multiple of 50. So you can divide by 50. This will be 114 and 50 will be 1171. Okay. Divide by 50. So 171. 19 into 9 is 171. 19 into 6 is 14. 114. Right. So 6 by 8, which is 3 by 4 or 75%. So directly you can take ratios and get the answer 75%. Okay. Which college has the highest percentage of candidates passed to the candidates enrolled? So again, this question, you do not need to find the passed and enrolled. Okay, what you just need to do is you just take this ratio upon this and see which has the highest. Okay. Now the thing here is the options have only four. There are only four options, right? So you check for only these four particular colleges. So Q is 17 by 15. Take this ratio, right? R is 13 by 10. Then V is 15 by 12. And next is T. This is 9 by 8. Okay, so if you see this is 1.13. This is 1.3. 1.25 and this is 1.125. So the highest is in R. So the highest is for R. Okay, so just take the ratio because this, whenever you are asked highest comparison, you do not need to calculate the values. Just see which has the highest comparison. Okay, highest ratio. So if the ratio is highest here, then it will have highest percentage of candidates with respect to the candidates enrolled. Okay, so straightforward question to answer. What is the percentage of candidates passed to the candidates enrolled for colleges Q and R altogether? Passed to enrolled. So pass ratio enrolled as a percentage form. So this also you do not need to calculate separate values. So pie charts are usually can be done very quickly. Like if you see last year's solutions, also I've uploaded solutions for 2023 paper. Please go through those solutions. You will see that pie chart based questions can be done very easily without even calculating all the values from the graph. So past to enroll for Q colleges Q and R, right? So past Q plus R is 30 of and enrolled is 25 of. Okay. So when we divided by 50, so we had got 14114 and 171. Okay. This can further be divided by 19. So 19 into, or you can directly say this is 2 by 3. You see this is 2 by 3. Okay. And then we can take 10 and this is 5 by, sorry, 2 by 5. So 4 by 5 आ गया अपना. 4 by 5 is 80%. You simply get the result by just taking the ratios of the percentages given. Okay, so the answer is 80%. The number of candidates passed from colleges S and P together exceeds the number of candidates enrolled in colleges T and R together by what number? S plus P से pass and T plus R से enrolled. You need to find the difference. Remember that pie charts can be done very fast. So in case you get a, like when you see the DI section and if you see pie charts, that is all about taking ratios and you can do it quite fast. So S and P together, ठीक है, पास निकालना. So S is 16 and P is 18. So 34% of 5700. Here we will have to multiply and find out. So you can write 34 into 57. Okay. Minus we need to do T and R enrolled. So T is 8 and R is 10. So 85.5. Now this can be done as like, see, if you have to multiply something in decimal and this way you can do it in 9, take half of it and double of it. 9 into 17. Now at this stage, like what I will do is, of course, you can calculate 34 into 57 minus 9 into this. There is no harm in doing it, right? I'll tell you a better way to use options. So always try to use options. Keep this thing in mind. Last digit thing is a very crucial thing for answering the questions. Most of the cases, people do not realize this. So 4 into 7, the last digit is 8, minus 9 into 1, the last digit is 9. So 8 minus 9, so the last digit should be 9 of the answer. But unfortunately, what happens is we have got two options that have 9 as the last digit. Now, how do we get the answer? Of course, I won't be multiplying it. Okay. Another thing which you can, like, I'm telling you certain calculation hacks. 17 into 9 is 153, so it is somewhere 1530 roughly, or you can take 1500 also approximately. 57 into 34. Okay, so see this 33.33% is 1 by 3. Okay, so as soon as I see one third, so it will be something 900, 1900 plus something. Okay, 1900 से थोड़ा ज़्यादा होगा. So 1900 और ये roughly 1500 है. So कितना आएगा? Roughly 400 आना चाहिए. Like it is, you can say it is approximately 1500. It is 15. It will not be 1500. This is mental calculation. 17 into 9 is 153. I know it is somewhere 1500. And this is 1900. One third is 33.33, slightly more than 1900. So 19 minus 15, 400. I will choose the option which is close to 400. Okay, the actual value you can calculate. You will get as 1938 आ रहा होगा, ये आ रहा होगा 1938 और ये आ रहा होगा 1539. But I did not calculate the actual values. You can calculate by multiplying. It takes time to multiply, right? You do not know the table of 34. You do not know the table of 57. But you can apply this logic कि one third होता है तो one third कर लो 19 close to 1900. Okay, और ये roughly 1500 है. 19 minus 15 roughly 400 होना चाहिए. So first factor that we saw is last digit and second factor is approximation. Combination of those that helps us to solve questions. So this is how you need to build speed. ठीक है, आप कहते हो कि 160 questions होते हैं, कैसे होंगे? इसीलिए तरह से होंगे if you avoid calculations. Because आपने जितना टाइम ये निकालने में लगाया होगा उससे ज्यादा टाइम आपका कैलकुलेशन में निकलेगा. So calculation, if you save the time, that helps you attempt questions fast. Okay. All right, so I hope you are enjoying this session. Please don't forget to like this video. Let's do the next set. It is a table. It says that it shows the percentage of marks obtained by 7 students in 6 subjects. The figures in brackets are the maximum marks for each subject. So these are the maximum marks and these are the percentage of marks. Okay, so you might be wondering 75 में से 84 कैसे आ गया? That is the percentage of it. Okay. Now, what are the total marks obtained by student A in history, geography, and science together? Yes, you can do digital sum also. That is also a way to get the answer. Student A in history, geography, and science together. इनका तो simple calculation है. So history and geography, it is 84 and 72, and that is 156. It is 75%. So take 3/4, and science is 67. So this will be 134. 117 plus 134. Right? The answer will be 250. Okay, so the answer is 251. What is the percentage of total marks obtained by student B in all subjects together? So we need to find his total marks. So you got a call from Micah. Like you must have got, if you had a decent score in CAT, you must have got a call at 15 marks. Okay, so let's do this calculation. 70, we have to find the percentage of total marks, right? This requires calculation. अब इसमें क्या कर लेते हैं, like 75 are of one category, all these are different categories, so we'll have to calculate separately. Calculate कर सकते हो 75 का, this will be 57, 3/4 कर लेंगे 174 by 4. This is 65 only, and this will be 36. Okay, so add this total, and maximum marks are 150, 300, 500, 600, 650. Okay, so add these two together, you will get 174. 174 plus, always try to add numbers that end 0, like it is 174. First we add zero point 0.5 together, because अगर हम 0.5 carry करते रहते हैं, so we tend to skip, right? We add these two, I get 174. Now I try to find a number ending in 6 and add this together. So this becomes 320. These three have become 320. Okay. And then 320, then we can add anything. Like if there is no such option available, and we'll go with it. 320 plus 57 is 377. Okay, 377. And this is 101. 478 is the total. 478 out of 650. Now what we can do is I can take double of this, that is 900. I have to convert into percentage. So just divide by 13. Okay. 13 sevens are 91, 446, 73. Are you getting this answer? Did anyone get this answer? 73.54 यही आ रहा है. Just tally it. Please comment yes if you are also getting the same answer. या कोई mistake we just check it because I just calculated it right now. It is one of the options, so I'm assuming कि सही होगा. Are you getting 73.54? So I think it is correct. Like I do not seem to make any mistake here. Let's see the next question. It says, what is the average marks obtained by the 7 students in maths? So you need to find the average of these marks in maths. Calculate karo, what is the average of this? Yes, you will be able to watch the recordings later. It will be uploaded in the recorded format also. So we need to find the average marks by these 7 students in maths. Okay. So maths is 1.5. So one thing, like let me tell you that how you can answer this question in a better way. One way that a student would approach is multiply all these by 1.5. ठीक है ये सबको मल्टीप्लाई करेगा. Let's see the understand the difference in approach, right? What why it matters. If you calculate the marks and then you take the average. So first of all, you have to execute 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 multiplications and then addition, right? 7 multiplication करने हैं. फिर उसके बाद आपको 7 नंबर्स को ऐड करना है. फिर उसे डिवाइड करना है 7 से. ठीक है. So this is the process. If you do not take this, if you just add this, so you have to do addition, you have to divide by 7 and multiply the final result by 1.5. So this approach is better than this. So instead of multiplying by 1.5, take the average of these numbers and then multiply by 1.5 to get the answer. Now how to get the average of these numbers is, instead of adding all these numbers, because 2 digit number है, add करने में time लगेगा. So basically let's take the let's solve it by deviation. How do we solve by deviation is, find some, assume some average. Okay, then add or subtract the deviations from it, and whatever is the deviation, divide by the number of values, and that will give you the exact average. So while looking at these numbers and options, I can see that it has to be somewhere around 80. Okay, round off number hai. Like you can take any number, you can take 75 also, you can take 85 also, does not matter, right? I assume the average to be 80. That is my assumption. It can be 81, 82, any number. There is no harm in assuming anything, right? I assumed 80. Okay. 80 assume किया. So this is plus 1 plus 7 minus 5 minus 16 plus 13, okay, plus 9 minus 14. And plus 13 minus 14 gives minus 1, right? and plus 1 minus 1 cancel out. Okay, and then we have 9 plus 7 16, और 16 minus 16 cancel हो गया, right? अब बचा हमारे पास net 5, so 80 minus 5 by 7, so 79 point something. 80 से थोड़ा कम है, like 79 point, like 5 by 7 कितना, 0.7, 87.29 आ जाएगा इसका average, isn't it? And we need to multiply by 1.5. 80 into 1.5 is 120, and minus 1 कर दो, so approximately 119 आंसर आ जाएगा. Okay, ये रफली एवरेज हमारा 80 के क्लोज आ गया, वेरी क्लोज टू 80. सो 80 into 1.5 is 20. 5 by 7 into 1.5 is 7.5 by 7. So roughly 1. So subtract 1 from it, you get 119 as the answer. Okay, so it is the best approach to find the average rather than multiplying 1.5 by every number by 1.5 and then adding, or adding the 7 numbers, because we have 2-digit numbers. It takes time to add the numbers, but it takes time, very less time, to remove these deviations. Okay, so this is the way that you should be tackling average based questions. Okay, let's look at the next question. What is the percentage of marks obtained by student E in history, geography, maths, and Hindi together? Student E, history, geography, maths, and Hindi. In the exam, it is about applying the techniques. Okay, then solving in the conventional. Because conventional way, ठीक है, आप practice कर. But exam में it is about how fast you get the answer, right? They don't worry about कि आपका answer कैसे आ रहा है, आंसर सही आना चाहिए, isn't it? That's the key. So that's what I tell, that how to get the answers in a fast way. So हमें इन सब का average निकालना. Now we know this is a question on weighted average, right? Each subject has a different weight, like 75 marks का, 75 marks का, ये 50 marks का, ये 150 marks का है. Remember that whenever you are attempting an MCQ paper, be vigilant with the options. ठीक है, ऑप्शन से कई क्वेश्चंस बन जाते हैं, पीपल डू नॉट रियलाइज इट. ठीक है, दे स्टार्ट कैलकुलेटिंग, हम सबसे पहले पेन उठाते हैं. दैट्स द बिगेस्ट मिस्टेक दैट पीपल मेक. तभी कहते हैं ना कि जो लोग डिफरेंस क्रिएट करते हैं, दोज आर द पीपल हु क्रिएट डिफरेंस. दे आर विजिलेंट विद द ऑप्शंस. नाउ दिस क्वेश्चन, इफ आई लुक एट दिस क्वेश्चन, आई विल नॉट कैलकुलेट द एवरेज. ठीक है, एवरेज क्यों नहीं कैलकुलेट करूंगा? बिकॉज फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल आई नो दैट 93 तो वन हो नहीं सकता, बिकॉज इसका एक में ही 93 आया, so 93.2 जा ही नहीं सकता. बाकी देख लो, 89 भी पॉसिबल नहीं लग रहा है, 88, 68, 78, 93 कैलकुलेशन करने से पहले ही सोच लो, दीज टू आर नॉट पॉसिबल. सो इट हैज टू बी 81 और 84. ठीक है, सो ये दो बचते हैं. नाउ इन दिस ऑल्सो इफ यू सी वन थिंग, although the weight are different, like 78, 68, 88, roughly 78 के आसपास बनेगा. See, I'm not saying that it will be 78, but it will be close to 78. 79 हो सकता है, 77 हो सकता है, but close to 78. Not very far off. ठीक है, इसमें कितना 15 extra है. Distribute 4 into 4 parts. Somewhere 3 more, like, or 3 to 4 more. 15 extra आ रहा है ना इसमें. इसका weight ज़्यादा है तो ठीक है 4. So maybe somewhere around 81 to 82 should be the average. So 81.4 is the answer. Without calculating the values, I can confidently mark 81.4, because when I see options, I see कि options थोड़े दूर दूर है, so I can clearly see. Previous questions options were close, 119 115, so close थे, I had to solve. But this particular question, if I see 93 and 89, confidently you can eliminate these options. Now we are left with two, 84 and 81. ठीक है, so अगर option मान लो close भी दिए होते तब भी we would have just seen this. This is 88, 68, 78. Average is 78. You will say the weight is different. Yes, weight is different. So that's why I've said that it is approximately 78. Okay. These two will be exactly 78 because here in fact it will be 78, not approximately, also it will be actually 78 because ये दो 78 बन रहा है 75 75 से. This is 78%, 78%. दो सब्जेक्ट में आपके 78% आ रहे हैं, चाहे 100 में से आ रहे हैं 200 में से आ रहे हैं, ठीक है, डज नॉट मैटर. सो 78 ये बन गया. नाउ दिस इज 93. ओके, अब ये कितने मार्क्स का था, ये था 200 मार्क्स का, ये 150 मार्क्स का. तो 93 से थोड़ा आपका एवरेज ऊपर जाएगा. ओके, इट वोंट गो. कितना आ रहा है, लाइक आर यू गेटिंग 81.4 और 84.4? 78 इन 200 एंड 150 में 93 आ रहा है, 4:3. सो इसके बीचों बीच नहीं नहीं, ये आएगा आपका 84.4 आ रहा होगा. माय बैड, क्योंकि इसका वेट ज्यादा है, लाइक 93 वाले का वेट काफी ज्यादा है, 150 मार्क्स का है. आई थिंक 84.4 आ रहा होगा. माय बैड. How would I get it is, like, see the weight also, like 150 is much higher than these altogether. Okay, so actual calculate कर लेते हैं, like out of 200 he has average of 78 and in 150 he has average of 93. Okay, so 4 and 3 का ले लेते हैं, 4 and 3, this is 312 and 279, this is 591 by 7, 331, हाँ 84.4 आएगा, सॉरी. सो इसमें वेट का फर्क आ गया. इफ दिस वेट वाज ऑलमोस्ट इक्वल टू दिस, सो देन इट वुड हैव बीन 81.4. 84.4 विल बी द आंसर. ओके, सो दिस आल्सो नीड्स टू बी फैक्टर्ड इन कि मैथ्स में वेट बहुत ज्यादा है. अगर मैथ्स कम मार्क्स का होता देन वी वुड हैव टेकन, लाइक इफ इट वाज सिमिलर रेंज लाइक 75 या 50 के क्लोज होता, देन यू वुड हैव डिस्ट्रीब्यूटेड इक्वली. Okay, so let's move to the next set. It says that this graph gives the ratio of exports and imports in a country. Exports ratio imports, right? So export upon import is given. Now how to read this graph is, let us say this value is 0.85. Okay, 2008 the value is 0.85. So that means export upon import is 0.85. So अगर import 100 है तो export will be 85. That is what it means, graph. Okay, so this is the information given and we need to answer these questions. The first question says the imports increased by 100 crores while the exports decreased by 35 crores from 2008 to 2009. You need to find the imported 2009. And here it is 0.75. So how do we find this? Okay. So let us say 2008 and 2009. This is like taking like solving equations in two variables. Okay. So import and export we need to find. So import is 85% ratio of export and import. Okay. Export upon import is given. So import, let us say it is 100x. So this would be 85x, isn't it? It says import increased by 100 crore. So import in 2009 will be 100x plus 100. Okay. So what happens here is it is 0.75. So 75%. So this will be 75x plus 75. And it is given that export decreased by 35 crore. So 85x minus 35. So this gives us 10x is equal to 110 or x is equal to 11. Now the question is import in 2009. So 2009 1100 plus 100 1200 crores. So in 2008 it is 1100. Here it will be 1200 crores. Okay. So if you are not able to uh, figure out the logic, now you know the logic, and please answer the remaining questions using this logic. It says the exports in 2012 were 20% more than the imports in 2010. What was the percentage change in imports in 2012 with respect to 2010? So 2010 and 12, you need to find the percentage change in imports. 1.1 is here and it is 1.25. Use the same rationale that we used in previous question and tell the answer. So exports in 2012 were 20% more than the imports. See, we are given export upon import, right? So for 1 year, let us take the it is with respect to 2010. Okay. So 2010 में import 100 मान लेते हैं. If it is 100, then it says export in 2012 is 120. What is the export in 2010? It is like 2010 export will be 1.1 times. That is not a concern. We need to find the percentages import. So we need to find the import here, not this value. This is not needed. So we can find this. Now in 2012 the ratio is 1.25. 1.25 means 5 by 4 times. So export is 5 by 4 times of import. So import will be 4 by 5 times. Okay. 4 by 5 of this is 24 into 4 96. In 96 आ जाएगा. The percentage changes 4%. The answer is 4%. Okay. So we assume this to be 100. This is 120 given in the question. So this turns out to be 96. This we do not have to use. Right? So 96 हो गया. So that means there is a 4% change in import. Alright, so let's look at the next question. Try to answer it based on these things that we've just done. Now, in this particular question, we are given total imports and total exports for 2 years. So you may have to form equations and solve it. So again, import and export ले लो. 2014. This is 0.9 and 2014 it is 1. So basically, import is equal to export. So total import is given in these 2 years and total export is given. So you need to find the difference between the imports in these 2 years. Make equations and solve. In one of the recent examinations, this kind of DI was asked. So let's do one thing. It is given that 0.9 times. So let's make it, you can take it 100 also, you can take it 10 also. Right? So you can put 10x as the import, right? So export will be 9x. And import, if you put y, this is y because that is equal. Okay, so this is just to make the equations small. Otherwise, you could take 100x and 100y also. Variable ज़्यादा हो जाएंगे. So 10x plus y, 9x plus y. So it is given that 330, 3300, and this is 3170. So clearly we see that x is 130, x is 130. So it says the difference between imports in 2011 and 2014. So we need to find y also. We need to find the difference between x and y. So x is 130. So 10x will be 1300. And then this should be 2000. The difference between them is 700 crores. Okay, so why we do 10x and y? To simplify the calculations. You could have taken 100x and 100y also. Because ये equally होंगे तो 10x रख लो तो 9x आ जाएगा, 100x रखोगे 90x आएगा, ये 100y 100y. So instead of making large variables, we made small variables and got the result instantly. So the answer is 700 crores. Okay, here's the next question on it. If there was 20% increase in imports from 2013 to 2015, exports in 2015 were how much more than the exports in 2015, 2013? So 20% increase in imports from 2013 to 15, and you need to find the increase in exports in 2015 with respect to exports in 2013. And some of you might be calculating these values. Remember one thing, that if in a graph or in a quant question, data is in the form of percentage, ratio, etc. Okay, and it the answer asking about some absolute number. Okay, so the answer cannot be determined. It is percentage increase, percentage, this is also percentage, right? Ratio or percentage. We are not given any of the numbers, कहीं पे भी हमें दिया नहीं है, right? Previous question we were given 3300 crores. Okay, previous also. See, if data is given in percentage terms and question is asking percentage or ratio, then you can answer. But if it is asking absolute value, the answer cannot be determined. ये कुछ भी हो सकता है, it can be 50, 35, 60, it can be anything. So always remember this thing. If data is given in the form of percentage or ratios, and answer is an absolute number, like sum of this, difference between this. यहाँ पे देखा how much more number पूछा ना 35 crore. If it was some percentage, you could have answered that question. So the answer is always cannot be determined. So instead of thinking anything, blindly mark the answer cannot be determined and move on. Okay, so that's a time saving technique. Okay, you don't spend unnecessary time on solving questions. Okay, so I hope you are enjoying this session thus far. Please don't forget to like this video. Let's move to the next set. Now this is a difficult one. Difficult मतलब थोड़ा lengthy है. Like we did one caselet which was straightforward. This has more data and it is about drawing a table here. So try this. Try to make a table and then we will discuss how to solve this. So we are given that there are some people traveling in a flight and some of them are Indian and some are non-Indian and they are categorized as vegetarian and non-vegetarian and on gender based also like male female travelers. So the thing is how to draw a table here. So try solving this and then we will discuss in a couple of minutes. Now understand that it is a three-dimensional table. So अगर two dimensional होती है then you can make it in a single table. Let's say like one of the caselets that we did were males and females department wise. So एक कॉलम ने कॉलम बना दिया department, एक बना दिया male and female, right? But here it is multi-dimensional. Like one is gender, male and female. Second is food, vegetarian, non-vegetarian. Third parameter is your Indian and non-Indian nationality. So when you have three parameters, you cannot show it in a single table. So you'll have to make separate tables. Either you make it gender wise separate, ठीक है, आप gender wise बना सकते हो, or you can make Indian and non-Indian wise, or you can make food wise, like vegetarian की एक table बना दो, एक non-vegetarian की table बना दो. Okay, so you'll have to make two tables. I've given you a hint. Preferably you can make male and female tables because like most of that thing like uh, male travelers males, okay, male travelers are 18 more, so probably you can make this. It's a good question. Now if you encounter such kind of a question, you know that okay, this is not something that is the first thing you are going to attempt in the paper. ठीक है, अगर ऐसा केस लड़ा था जिसमें you have multi dimensions, then think twice before attempting it. So got the values? Like, did you get the number of total number of passengers? What is the total number of passengers? If anyone did it, आया किसी का? Okay, 250. All right, so let's start solving this. We've solved it, great. Let us see that how do we go about solving this question. Okay, so as I said, let's make two tables, one for males and another for females. इसमें आप दो कैटेगरी बना सकते हो, like veg non-veg and Indian and non-Indian. Okay, similarly in female also make the same category, veg non-veg, Indian and non-Indian. Okay, and I mean basically adding these values and getting the total like this. So it says the number of male travelers on the flight is 18 more than the number of female travelers. So whatever the total number is x, so this is going to be x plus 18. 31 Indian travelers are vegetarian. Okay. Now Indian travelers can be male and female both. Okay. Next leg says 35 male travelers are Indian and 20 of them are non-vegetarian. So 35 male travelers are Indian. So male and Indian is 35, and it says 20 of them are non-vegetarian. So non-vegetarian 20. This is non-Indian, non-Indian. So if it is 20, this will be 15. Now previous statement said that 31 Indian travelers are vegetarian. So 15 here, 16 vegetarian here. So these two information are done. Okay. The next is non. Now this looks a lengthy statement. ठीक है, पहले जो छोटा statement है उसे process कर लेते हैं. It says 70 Indians are non-vegetarian. Okay. Now, non-vegetarian Indians will be among males also. Sorry, this is 20 Indians who are non-vegetarian, and females there will be 50 Indians who are non-vegetarians. ठीक है, so ये आ गया. 42 males are vegetarian. So male 42 are vegetarian. So 42, this is 27. So this is done. Right. Now let's use the last statement, the second last statement. Since it was a lengthy one, we process it in the end. It says non-Indian females who are non-vegetarian. Non-Indian females who are non-vegetarian. Ye are one-fifth of the number of Indian females who are non-vegetarian. Indian females non-vegetarian. इसका one-fifth है. So this is 10. ठीक है, ये 10 आ गया. Now it says that who in turn are one-fifth of the total number of travelers. Who refers to these Indian females who are non-vegetarian. So always remember whatever is mentioned just below before who, that is referred to by the word who. ठीक है, लोगों confuse रहता है who किस लिए. Who is for Indian females who are non-vegetarian. So Indian females non-vegetarian is 50. It is one-fifth of the total number of travelers. So total number of travelers will be 250. So 250 हो गया. 2x plus 18 is 250. So 2x is equal to 232. X is 116. So 116 total female travelers, and this will be 134. अब मिसिंग वैल्यूज निकाल सकते हैं. दिस इज 60, so this will be 56, this will be 40, and this is 42, 92, and 20, 72, this will be 99. So these are the values that you will get for different categories like kitne vegetarian, non-vegetarian, male, female, etc. These are the values that you will get. Now the question is non-vegetarian female travelers, non-vegetarian female travelers, that is 60 are there. 60 constitute what percent of the total travelers? So 60 by 250 is, this is multiply by 4 and 240 or 24%. This is 24%. Okay, this number will be 66 and this number will be 50. So this is how we make a table. It was about understanding how to make the table, because most of the students will not get ki table kaise banegi. In 3 dimensions, right? There is gender, there is food, veg and non-veg, and third is nationality. So always remember, in a table you can only show 2 dimensions at a time. इट इज नॉट नेसेसरी आप मेल फीमेल बनाते, यू कुड हैव मेड इंडियन एंड नॉन इंडियन, और इसमें बना देते मेल फीमेल एंड वेजिटेरियन नॉन वेजिटेरियन. Similarly, you could have also made on food like vegetarian and non-vegetarian. Make male, female, and make Indian, non-Indian. You could have made in any of the three formats. Okay, you would have got the same values. So you got the answer 24%. Now the value table is done. We can answer the remaining questions. What is the ratio of vegetarian and non-vegetarian non-Indian male travelers? Look at the table and answer the questions. Suppose table आपसे नहीं बनी, now you know that how to form the table. Now you can answer the questions. Ratio of vegetarian and non-vegetarian non-Indian male travelers. Okay, non-Indian male travelers बनाने. So non-Indian male travelers इसमें vegetarian और non-vegetarian का ratio, that is 27:72. Right, 9 से चला जाएगा, 3:8 will be the answer. Okay. All right. Next question. How many Indian female travelers are vegetarian? Indian, female, and vegetarian. So we have 16 such travelers who are Indian, female, and vegetarian. What is the difference between the number of non-vegetarian and non-Indian travelers? Find the difference between non-vegetarian and non-Indian travelers. Non-vegetarian कितने 92 and 60. So non-vegetarian travelers are 152 and non-Indian. Non-Indian are 99 and 50. 149 non-Indian travelers. So the difference is 3. Okay. So this is the solution and the answers to questions. Okay. All right. So let's see the next one. Now it is a calculation heavy. Okay, because you will need to multiply also at some places. So it says the below pie chart gives the percentages of buses going to different hill stations during a week. So there are total 250 buses, and these number of buses go to different hill stations. Okay, and this gives the number of passengers per bus to each of the hill stations and males as the percentage of total passengers. Okay, so it says that like passengers per bus and percentage of male. Now, I always advise that in DI, do not make a mistake of calculating all values. If one of the questions or two of the questions are asking, requiring you to calculate the entire table, avoid that question. ठीक है, सो लोग यही गलती करते हैं, वो सोचते हैं कि हम चारों क्वेश्चन अटेम्प्ट कर लेंगे, पूरी टेबल बना देते हैं. दैट इज द बिगेस्ट मिस्टेक दैट पीपल कमिट. इट इज नॉट अबाउट सॉल्विंग ऑल क्वेश्चंस, एंड स्पेशली इन एग्जामिनेशन लाइक जीबीओ where you have plenty of questions to attempt, right? You have 160 questions, or like अगर आप पूरा नहीं भी करोगे, and there is no sectional cutoff also, right? So try to attempt as fast as possible. So yes, I will make a video on how to maximize the score by attempting in a strategic way. Yeah, which are the questions that one must attempt, which ones you should leave, so that you get the best score. So this question does not require you to calculate all the values. Just look at the graph. This pie chart gives you the number of buses, because 250 buses, right? We can get the number of buses using this, and passengers per bus. So if you multiply, let's just tell you that how to calculate the values in this. Okay. So 20% buses go to Almoda. So that is 50 buses here. Okay. 28 will be the number of passengers, and out of them 53% are male, so female will be 47%. So that is how you will get the values of each station, kitne female, kitne male or kitne female ka hai. But that is not needed, right? So 15 to 28 will give you the number of passengers that are going, into 53% will give you the number of male passengers going to Almoda. But that is not the objective of this question. The objective is to answer questions that require minimal calculation. Okay, so we will see that what are the, now this question can be easily answered: male passengers to Kausani and female passengers to Bageshwar. Now understand this thing, that we have this tendency कि we calculate the numbers, right? If it is a ratio based question, so एक line खींचो, उसी में ऊपर नीचे values ले लो. Do not calculate the numbers separately. So Kausani and Bageshwar, ठीक है, कौसानी में कितने लोग जा रहे हैं? 12%, because it is 12 into 250. This is also into 250. Okay, so 250 250 cancel हो जाएगा, sec 12. And second is Bageshwar is 16, so 12 by 16 of, now in we have to find how many buses. Kosani we are getting 36 buses, sorry, passengers per bus is 36, and Bageshwar passengers per bus is 32. Okay. Then it is asking the male passengers to Kausani. So male passengers here is 45%, so 45, and female passengers to Bageshwar. Male is 55, so female will be 45. Okay, so 45 45 cancel. Okay, now we have 3 by 4, and this is 9 by 8. So we get 27 ratio 32. So straightforward answer, no need to calculate values separately. Okay. The question is very simple. Many of the students calculate actual values and then tell the ratio कि हमारा ये ratio है. No need to do that. If ratio is given, try to just take ratios of values. Okay, so let's look at the next question. What is the average daily number of male passengers to Ranikhet? Since it involves only one of the hill stations, we can find it. And this can be done mentally also. Matlab, you do not need a pen to do this. Just look at the values. The thing is, we make a mistake of picking the pen and start writing the things, right? Instead of looking at the data. In any question, try to look at the data and then try to answer it. अगर necessary है तभी pen उठाओ and pen चलाओ. So though the moment you start using your brain first and then pen later, you see that okay, you have improved a lot. अब हमें क्या करना है, राइट? वी नीड टू फाइंड रानीखेत एवरेज डेली नंबर ऑफ मेल पैसेंजर्स. सो दिस इंटू 18% निकालना पड़ेगा, ठीक है, इंटू 35 बसेस निकालना पड़ेगा. दैट इज द टोटल नंबर ऑफ पैसेंजर्स, एंड वी विल हैव टू, दिस इज अ वीक. ओके, वी नीड टू फाइंड डेली, सो वी नीड टू डू इंटू 5 ओनली, बिकॉज ये 35 है, डिवाइड बाय 5 हो जाएगा ना. बेसिकली क्या है, 250 इंटू 18%, ओके, into 35 divide by 7, ये निकालना है हमें. Okay, but instead of writing this, think that this is 5 and this is 5, 18 and 25. ठीक है, 18 into 5 is uh, 90, and 90 into 25, अच्छा सॉरी, मेल पैसेंजर्स भी 48 into 48 भी होगा. ये हमारी एक्चुअल वैल्यू निकालनी है, ठीक है. इट इज अबाउट मेल पैसेंजर्स. नाउ we can do is, like, this is 5 into 48, 240. Okay, 240, and 240 into 250, 25 into 24, 6 into 18, 108. If you are comfortable with the numbers, like, this is how you do mental calculation. ठीक है, बेसिकली हमें क्या करना है, 250 को मल्टीप्लाई करना है, इसे मल्टीप्लाई करना है 18%, and we have to multiply this and divide this by 7. So basically it is 5, right? 5 into 48, 240. 240 into 250 कितना होता है? Whenever you need to multiply by 25 or 250 or anything, instead of multiplying by this, divide by 4. So 240 into divide by 4 is 60. 60 into 18 is 1080. Now don't worry about decimals and uh, like fractions ki kahan pe zero lagega and all. Just do it in a mental format. 24 into 25, we get 240. 24 is a 25 ले लिया. 24 into 25, 600, you will get 6 into 18, 100, and you can directly do it. Otherwise ऐसे लिखना है, लिख सकते हो. No harm in doing it. Then you will say 5 by 2. इसमें टाइम लगाते हैं लोग करने में. ठीक है, वो सोचते हैं किससे क्या कट रहा है. They will say 5. Okay, then they will do 9, and then इसे 20. So जो कितना टाइम लगता है, 12 into 9, 108 आंसर आएगा. आएगा 180. But the time you take in cutting these numbers is so large. Okay, within that time you can do calculations in head and get the answer. So if you practice these things, you become smarter and beat others. Okay, that is the reason why some people score very high in the exams. And approximation, uh, etc., are quite helpful. Especially DI, it is going to be calculation intensive. See all the sets. देखो, if it's a caselet, so you have to read everything. So instead of caselet, look at a graph based thing, because क्योंकि graph में आपको ज़्यादा पढ़ना नहीं होता. Graph is given. The common instruction is a small line, like 1 or 2 lines. You understand it. Try to attempt graph based questions. So not necessarily you attempt, like, out of 10 sets, 7 to 8 at least will be graph based. Caselet कितने होंगे? 2 या 3 caselet होंगे. Graph based, try to see if you can sneak out 2 to 3 questions also per set. Not necessary that you attempt all 4 questions from a set. ठीक है, इजी क्वेश्चंस देख लिए, कुछ जो ऐसे डायरेक्ट हो जाते हैं वर्बली, ट्राई टू अटेम्प्ट दोस. You can maximize your performance in DI. Okay, 15% passengers to Nainital were children, of which 125 were girls. How many boys traveled to Nainital during the period? Okay, so you will have to find, like, basically you do not have to find this male and female. You have to use this number and 15% और उससे 125 आपको subtract करना है. So find this value. So 250, Nainital 24%, 27%, 27 passengers per bus, find 15% and subtract 125. So calculate करके बताओ कितना आंसर आएगा, and then I'll tell you an interesting thing also in this. Okay, let's see the calculation bit and I'll tell you the approach, the that is my approach, okay, which I would use and get beat others. Okay, so 24%, like maybe you would have calculated 60, direct ऐसे mentally हो जाएगा. 60 into 27 is the number of passengers into 15% going to Nainital. Okay, it's 24% of 250 is 60, 27 buses and 15 by 100. Okay, so this is the number of children. This is 3 by 5, 27 into 9, you would have got 243 and 125 girls. Okay, so you subtract 125, you get 118. So you get the answer 118. This is the answer. Now I will tell you how to do it in the reverse way, okay, which would take lesser time. I would personally do it that way instead of taking the values. Yeah, 125 girls hai. So I will add 125 to it. That will give me the number of children. So this will be 253, 248, 245, and this is 243. Now try to get this thing. I got these numbers. I see that 27 buses are going it, right? Passengers per bus is 27. So the answer that like the number of children would ideally be a multiple of 27. Okay? Number of people are going in this thing. So 27 ka multiple hona chahiye. I see that these are not multiples of 27. So I would go by this option. रिवर्स थिंकिंग ठीक है रिवर्स नंबर ऑफ गर्ल्स दिया है अगर मैं नंबर ऑफ गर्ल्स ऐड कर दूंगा आई गेट द टोटल नंबर ऑफ चिल्ड्रन सो टोटल ऑफ नंबर ऑफ चिल्ड्रन शुड बी सम 15% and 27% like 20 into 27 so somewhere should be multiple like even not 27 it should be at least multiple of 9 none of them is a multiple of 9 also so this is the only number that can be the possible number of children and you get the answer instantly. Okay, so knowing of numbers is also very important. It helps in DI and other parts of quant also. So some students avoid number systems, like especially if you're targeting examinations, you must prepare number systems well or your divisibility rules and all these things, factors, multiples, they can be used quite effectively in answering questions. Okay, so here's the next question. It says that the number of females to which hill station is the second lowest. Now, remember one thing. This question you should ideally avoid. Okay? The reason is, I will tell you one important thing. If the question asks which is the highest or lowest, ठीक है अगर पूछा होता instead of second अगर ये word second नहीं होता ठीक है if it was highest and lowest then I would have attempted this question. Why? Because how many stations are 1 2 3 4 5 6 6 है इन चारों में से ही कोई होगा highest या lowest only among options. ठीक है मुझे बस ये चार चेक करने होते अगर मान लो यहाँ पे 6 की जगह 7 ग्राफ या 8 ग्राफ्स जो होते आई हैड टू चेक जस्ट 4 आउट ऑफ देम टू गेट विच इज द हाईएस्ट और लोएस्ट ओके बट इट सेज सेकंड लोएस्ट. अब ऐसा हो सकता है लेट अस से यू गेट जस्ट टेकिंग एग्जांपल दिस इज द लोएस्ट एंड यू गेट सेकंड लोएस्ट एज अल्मोड़ा एंड यू मार्क अल्मोड़ा एज द आंसर. Possibly that is wrong. Why? Because Almora, Bageshwar, Kausani, Mukteshwar are given. Suppose lowest is Nainital, okay, which is not given in the options. So in that case, Bageshwar would have been the second lowest. So if you are asked a question like highest or lowest, check only among options. If it is second or third, like second highest, third highest, second lowest, third lowest, you need to check all values. So basically, you'll have to check for all of these hill stations to get which is the second lowest. So definitely a question worth skipping in the exam. So as I said that it is not about solving all questions. It is about picking the right set of questions. कर हम भी सकते हैं right if given a chance I can score 100 like full marks in quant full marks in DI okay but I would attempt strategically and attempt the questions which are going to which I can attempt in that given period of time. Okay, so आपने इसमें से तीन क्वेश्चन किए चौथा वाला छोड़ दिया डिस्पाइट नोइंग हाउ टू डू इट इट इज अबाउट यू एक्ट स्मार्ट. ठीक है करना आता है बट इट डज नॉट मीन दैट if you know how to do and you know how to do it in less time then only attempt a question. You feel that that is not going to help you unnecessary calculations avoid it. So anyway let us calculate it now. Another thing to do is do not do calculation of like 250 का इतना percentage, क्योंकि हमें highest या lowest ही बताना है, right? So we will take 20. We have the same order, right? Almoda, Bageshwar, 20, 28. So Almoda is 20, 28, and 47. I'm writing the numbers. Yeah, this is 16, 12, 10, 24, 18, and this is going to be 45. It's going to be 55, 42. Yeah. Now these are roughly half, okay, unless something is specified. 28 into 20, large number, 560. This is also close to 500. ये कम वैल्यू दिख रही है मुझे, एक वैल्यू कम दिख रही है, 400, जस्ट 400. ओके, सो दिस इज अ लो वैल्यू एंड इसका 42 विल बी लेस, सो ये लो साइड में लग रहा है मुझे. 24 into 27 is a large value, ठीक है, more than 600, so this definitely will not be on the low side. 35 into 18, 600 plus. Okay, so again not a low value. Okay, this is not a low value. This is also 560. This is 492, looks on a higher side. These two value will be the among the lowest. Okay, 12 into 36, this is 432 ka 55, this is Kausani, and this is 400 ka 42 is for Mukteshwar. So it has to be out of these two. अब हमें कैलकुलेशन एक्चुअल निकालना पड़ेगा. 432 का 55 है ना, so this will definitely be the lowest. Okay, 400 का 42% इसका, so this could be the answer. Kausani, very likely the answer. Bageshwar Almora, let us see कि it is 560 का 47, ठीक है, definitely high value होगी. And other is Almora is 492 का 45. ओके, हो सकता है, ये भी हो सकता है, नॉट 480, 492 का 45. इन दोनों में से एक होगा, लाइक मुक्तेश्वर तो लोएस्ट, दैट वी आर श्योर ऑफ. Almoda and Kausani we might have to calculate. So what I can do is 49 into 9, 43 into 11. ठीक है, रफ एस्टिमेट कर रहा हूँ. 49 into 9 is 441. So this turns out to be second lowest. So not this, Almoda is the second lowest. Okay, although the total is less here, but it is 55% are female. Here it is only 45. So rough approximation gave us this answer. Now even doing this thing took a lot of time for us. Okay, so advisable that skip such a question. Okay, that's the best alternative to attempting questions. Okay, so if you know how to attempt the right set of questions, you obviously tend to maximize the scores. Okay, so this is the answer will be Almoda. If you wish to, if you had calculated all the values, do calculate. Like अगर आपको मन करता है टेबल बनाने का, सारी टेबल बना लो और चेक कर लेना. Do let me know in the comments that what was the actual values और कितना actual आया number, and tell me the answers. Okay, but that is not needed. Okay, so I hope you enjoyed this session, learned some cool techniques to answering some of the questions, and especially chart-based questions. You must have seen that कि कैसे आप easily chart-based questions answer कर सकते without doing the actual calculations. So in case you know someone who is preparing for CAT and CAT 2024 and starting their preparation, and if they want to enroll in an online course, you can recommend our institute. Okay, it is one of the best when it comes to content. Okay, so we have a dedicated group for doubt resolution of enrolled students. With every class you get practice sheets, and we'll also be providing full length mocks and sectional texts for CAT, and the validity is till 31st March. So in case you are preparing for other exams also, you can study from the classes, and you can watch the recordings of the videos and prepare for the same. So there will be 10 DI sets. So it is 4 questions into 10 sets. So total 40 questions. It is about picking the right number of questions. Like it is not कि जैसे हमने last वाला set देखा 3 questions were doable, one was lengthy, so just attempt 3. किसी में 2 कर लिए, किसी में 3 कर लिए. So it is not that attempt everything. Do not draw the entire table from the graph. You draw the table, you can answer all 4 questions, but at the cost of lot of spending lot of time. Instead of that, answer 2 questions without even drawing anything from the table, right? Noting any of the values. That's a better strategy. And you can attempt a significant number of questions in DI and then quant and other sections. There is no sectional cutoff. Okay. So ensure that you do a good number of questions from your favorite section. Okay, and try to maximize the score, overall score. All right, so that's it for this session. I hope you enjoyed this session and found some valuable techniques that can be applied in data interpretation calculation. I had also done a similar session on quant yesterday. We'll be doing for the other two sections also. So keep a watch on the channel. Thanks for attending the session. Have a great day. Goodbye.